Hello everyone. In this video, I will be discussing data types in C language. But first, we need to answer the question why we actually need data types in C. I have already discussed about variables in my previous videos. A variable is basically a named storage location that stores some type of information at some memory location in computer's memory. Now, what type of information is stored? Whether the information is of type of integer type, decimal type or characters, and how much storage the information is taking, these two things depend on the data type of variables. We have integer type, character type, float type, double type, short and long type data types in C language. Now let's see them one by one. Here I is a variable of type integer. Now how we declare an integer data type in C language? Using the keyword int. So here this tells the compiler that I is a variable that will be using 4 byte or 32 bits of storage to store information of integer type, that is a number without decimal points. So int is the keyword for declaring integer data type variables. Then here C is a character type variable declared using the keyword char, and it is storing value A. This is basically a character constant. Character constants are basically written inside single quotes. So this A represents one character. This will be stored in memory using the ASCII value of A. So ASCII value of A is 65. So 65 will be stored at some memory location C, and then when I am fetching that value from that memory location, this ASCII value will be converting to A, and then A will be output that will be printed on the output screen. Then here double and float are used to store values of decimal type, that is numbers with decimal points. The difference between float and D is of storage. Double type data type variables take 64 bits of storage and float type variables take 32 bits. So this D will be storing 3.147467 across 64 bits of storage, and float will be taking 32 bits. Then we have short and long. Short basically stores integer type values using 2 byte or 16 bits of storage. I have to tell you one thing here, that depending on the size these are taking, like short takes 2 byte or 16 bits, there will be a range of numbers that these data types will be representing. As we already know that information is stored in 2's complement form in computer's memory. So this S will be storing numbers in the range -32768 to 32767. This is a range for storing numbers in signed 2's complement form using 8 bit, using 16 bits. Okay, so the range will be -2 16 -1 to 2 raised to power 16 -1 -1, that is -2 raised to power 15 to 2 raised to power 15 and then -1. I am saying this -2 raised to power 15 -1 to 2 raised to power 15 -1. This minus is not here, so this is here the exponent. This gives me 32768. This gives me 32768, then -1 gives me 32767. So short will be storing values in this range. Okay, now let's print these values. First, when I am printing a particular value using the printf function, I need to specify the format specifier. Basically, format specifier tells the compiler what type of information will be printed on the output screen. So modulus D tells the compiler that integer type value will be printed. Modulus C tells the compiler that character will be printed. Modulus LF tells double type value will be printed, modulus f for float, modulus hd for short type value, and modulus ld for long type value. So value equal to modulus d, here I. So I gives me integer, so integer type value will be printed. The second one is sizeof. This sizeof is basically an operator to print the size a particular type of variable takes to store a particular piece of information. So I takes 4 byte, so modulus d, as size is of integer type. The size like 1 byte, 4 byte, 8 byte is of integer type. So I am using here the integer format specifier. So let's print the values here. Let's minimize this. Okay, so here okay, so okay, here this value modulus d and size of int. So modulus d, I stores 1231, so value printed is 1231, size of int is 4, so 4 is printed here. C is storing 8, character 8, so with modulus C I am telling the compiler to print character type value, so A is printed. With modulus D I am telling the compiler that print ASCII value of this. Characters are basically capable of storing integer type values also. So here modulus D, that is ASCII value for A, will be printed. So 65 will be printed, size of char is 1 byte. Here double stores 3.146761, so double, this gives me a value, and size of double is 8. Float stores 3.14 and size of float is 4. Then short, here I have given this as 32767. Okay, so short stores 32767, so 32767 is printed, and size of short is 2, that is 2 byte or 16 bits. And long stores 34567 and size of long is 4. So depending on the data type of a variable, the type of information and storage can be known. Okay, also here, so these format specifiers are also important. This format specifier basically tells the compiler what type of information needs to be printed on the output screen. Here also, here IC is a variable of character type and I am giving it value 128. So when I am telling the compiler modulus C, so character corresponding to this 128 will be printed. This is some character that is printed for this ASCII value 128, and then I am giving modulus D, so I am telling the compiler to print here. I am telling the compiler to print integer type value on the output screen for this IC variable. So minus 128 is printed, and then size of char is 1 byte or 8 bits. Okay, so why this minus 128 is printed? Because the range is from minus 128 to 127. Now 128 is not in this range, so after 127 the system goes to the side of the range and minus 128 is printed. Now if this was 129, so minus 128 minus 127, so minus 127 have been printed here. So this was all about data types in C language. In the next video I will be discussing type conversion and type casting.